If you run a small or mid sized business in British Columbia, this week wasn't far away geopolitics. The war involving Iran is now a direct cost shock fuel, freight, food, and even the Canadian dollar. Today, what's changing in BC real estate and what the construction pipeline is telling us right now. Welcome to the Key Business Connect Weekly Brief, the show that filters the noise and gives BC and Canadian business owners the facts that hit margins, cash flow, and next quarter decisions. I'm Ken McLean, and this is your BC focused update for the week ending April 3rd, 2026. Everything here is grounded in public, verifiable sources. Let's start with this headline, the big story, Iran war cost shock. Here is the reality. The conflict has disrupted a critical global shipping choke point, the Hormuz Strait, and oil markets are reacting fast. Major banks are warning oil could stay above $100 and spike much higher if disruptions persist. And the practical effect for BC businesses is immediate. First, fuel and freight. If you operate vans, trucks, trade crews, field services, fuel costs hit you first, and the surcharge conversation is back. Second, inputs. Higher energy costs work through the economy slowly. Transportation, packaging, imported parts, meaning your suppliers may tighten price holes and quote windows over the next several weeks. Third, food. Global food pricing rose in March as energy and freight costs jumped. That matters for restaurants, wholesalers, grocers, and anyone with food-heavy customer traffic. Fourth, currency. The Canadian dollar weakened with war escalation risk. If you buy in US dollars, it's a double hit. FX plus freight. So what should you do this week? Three moves. One, add a fuel or freight adjustment lines to the quotes and invoices, even if it's zero today. Two, shorten quote validity windows and get price until dates from suppliers in writing. Three, for jobs longer than 30 days, use a simple escalation clause tied to a clear trigger. So now let's move to the BC economy signals that matter next. One important national flag last week, Canada's trade deficit widened sharply in February. The main driver was a surge in imports, especially gold. But for everyday businesses, the key point is this. Trade swings and a softer dollar can increase volatility for import-heavy companies. If you buy a product, equipment, or inputs from the U.S., build a small FX buffer into April pricing and restocking. Now, real estate BC snapshot. Here's the provincial picture. The BCREA reported that February sales and average prices were both down year over year. In Metro Vancouver, inventory is still high compared to typical seasonal levels. And the sales to active listings ratio suggests a more balanced to soft market than in the boom years. What does that mean for small businesses? If you are in rentals, home services, trades, landscaping, you can expect longer decision cycles and more quote shopping. But you can still win by being clearer, faster, and more professional in scope and follow-up than the next bidder. If you're a transaction adjacent, such as mortgages, insurance, staging, and moving, you'll need more outbound activities to achieve the same closings. And for BC construction and development, the construction pipeline is sending a clear message. BC building permit values to date as of January were down sharply, and residential planned spending was down even more. BC's housing new home registration data is also down year to date through February, which is an early indicator of what may be coming down the pipeline. For contractors and suppliers, that usually means more competition in parts of residential, more pressure on margin, and with energy volatility, more risk in long quotes. So the playbook is simple. Shorten price holds, standardize escalation language, be disciplined with change orders, and track your pipeline weekly, permits, inquiries, and pre-construction leads, not just revenue booked. Here's an action plan for this week for you. One, add fuel freight adjustment language to quotes. Two, reconfirm lead times and price valid until dates with key suppliers. Three, if you're in construction, tighten quote terms, escalation, and change orders. Four, if you're real estate adjacent, assume longer sales cycles and increase follow-up cadence. This is your Key Business Connect weekly small business update for BC for the week ending April 3rd, 2026. KeyBusinessConnect.com for the newsletter version and member networking. Subscribe, share it with one BC business owner, and we'll see you next week.